Hey boys and girls, Miss Hayworth here. Today I'm going to come to you and talk to you a little bit about math. I had a couple of you ask me a couple of questions because you have done your diagnostic on your IXL, and I want to say I am so proud of you for doing your IXL. Thank you so much, and I'm sure the other teachers are just as excited about you doing it too. In fact, Miss Allen on the other side of the camera is nodding her head yes, so we're good. So anyway, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about division because I have a couple of you wondering, saying that you don't remember division. And that's okay because, hey, we're not there to practice it, right? So what does it mean to divide? To divide means to separate into equal groups, to find the number of groups, or the number in each group. So we're going to put them into groups and find that missing number. So the strategies we're going to look at today is repeated subtraction, grouping, skip counting, inverse, or finding the missing factor, and then we're going to show you how to use your multiplication chart that you should be practicing daily because you still should be doing your multiplication facts, how to use that multiplication chart to help you with your division. Okay, we're going to look at repeated subtraction first. And right here I have my little students. I got to have some kind of students going on here, so I got my little pretend ones out. So I have 12 students. 3 students are in each group, so how many groups of students do I have? So what we can start out with is, if I can get my pen open, is we know the total is 12, so that's what we're going to start out with, 12. Well, just like multiplication's repeated addition, division is the opposite of multiplication, so it's repeated subtraction. So 12, we know that we have 3, so 12 minus 3. And what is 12 minus 3? However you have to figure it out, it's okay. So we know that 12 minus 3 is 9. So that would be like me coming over here and taking 1, 2, 3 of my students and putting them right there. Okay? So now I have 9 students left. So now we're going to say 9 minus, and I'm sure y'all remember one of the lessons where we would say, okay, we're going to draw the arrow up here, and now the 9 goes up here, minus 3. And what is 9 minus 3? You got it, 6. So now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to remove 3 more, oops, of my students. And now you'll notice I still have 6 in a group. So now this 6 goes up, and I say 6 minus 3. And what is 6 minus 3? 3. And come over here, and I take those 3 and move them to the side. And we got to work all the way till we get to a 0. So then the 3 goes up, and 3 minus 3 equals 0. So we're done with the repeated subtraction. So what you can look at now is how many times did we have to subtract 3? 1, 2, 3, 4. And it should look right here, and you'll also see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12 divided by 3 equals 4. So that's one strategy of doing 12 divided by 3. And once again, it's repeated subtraction. Okay, so we just did repeated subtraction. Now let's move on to grouping. So grouping is what we're going to look at. We know we have a total of a certain amount of students, or candy, or whatever you want to say. And we know that we have this number, this divisor, because if you remember, this is the dividend, this is what we're dividing into, this is the divisor, and the answer we get is called the quotient. Well, this divisor here means I have 4 groups. So what I'm going to show you is I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4. I drew 4 circles because that's my divisor number there, and that's my groups. I'm trying to figure out what's the size of each group. So now I know I have a total of 16. So I'm going to now do counting and put a you can put X's, tally marks, circles, whatever you want to put in your inside of here. I wouldn't recommend putting circles inside of circles, but I mean, you can do whatever you want. Stars, hearts. I had some of my kids do hearts before, but I'm just going to do tally marks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't get to 16 yet, so I got to keep going. 5, 6, 7, 8. Got to keep going. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I stopped because that was what my total was 16. So I now know I have 16 total tally marks all in this, but I have 4 groups. So how many tally marks are in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 16 divided by, it's hard to write upside down, sorry, equals 4. Now I'm going to show you another way right here with my 16 students again. Instead of drawing circles, if you have anything at home, it don't have to be my little people here. You can have Skittles or M&Ms or whatever it is you have at home, Ritz crackers, Cheez-Its, whatever, to do this at home too if you need to. And good thing is, if it's food, you get to eat it after you're done with your math. So now I have 4 postcards here because my division problem was 16. I have a total of 16 students here. Well, I have 4 groups right here, and it means I have 4, let's say, math games I want my 16 kids to play. Well, how many kids are going to go in each group? So I'm going to start putting 1. Let's put him in there since he's wanting to really go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Sorry, dude. 13, 14, 15, 16. So how many students are on each of my index cards, or how many students are in each group? 1, 2, 3, 4. 16 divided by 4 equals 4. Okay, now we've done repeated subtraction, we've done grouping, now we're going to look at skip counting. And yes, I went big on you. What is 72 divided by 9? We know the total is 72, and we know that the size is 9, or however you want to say it. So we're going to count by the 9. So why don't we start out with a 0? Because we know 0 means we have nothing. There's nothing there to represent, so you never start with 0 here. So you're going to start with 9 times 1 and keep going up until we get to 72. So we have 9, and if we add 9 more to that, we have 18. 9 more is 27. 9 more is 36. 9 more is 45. 9 more is 54. 9 more is 63, and then 9 more is 72. We got where, that's our stop. I put a little stop circle around it, means that's my stop sign, okay? So now all we gotta do is count. How many times did we have to count by 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, or you could have gone up here and do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Same thing, okay? So now we know 72 divided by 9 equals 8. That's skip counting. Don't forget you can do that, okay? So all you're doing is counting by the divisor. Okay, we're going to continue on. We've done repeated subtraction, grouping, skip counting. Now we're going to look at inverse. What does inverse mean? Inverse means the opposite. Well, what is the opposite of division? Well, it's multiplication. So we really can look at this as saying, what times, that probably looks like a plus sign, I think. I'm writing upside down, so let me turn it sideways. What times 4 equals 12? Now you could do this in many ways. I've showed you skip counting. I've showed you repeated subtraction. I've showed you grouping. But just to show you this one, something times 4, and you should be practicing your multiplication facts, so this should become pretty easy. What times 4 gives me 12? You got it, 3. So 3 times 4 equals 12. Or we can say 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So that's your inverse on that. That goes the same if we decide we're going to come over here and say 16 divided by what, and normally they have a little square there, y'all remember, equals 8. Well, we could turn that around. 8 times what equals 16. So we could say 8 times what equals 16. Well, what times 8 gives me 16? That's right, 2. So we know that 16 divided by 2 equals 8. And that's how you always can check your division problems too, is use the inverse. 8 times 2, does it give me that big number of 16? Yes. So there's another way of checking your division. So that's the inverse strategy. Okay, the last strategy we're going to review today is using our multiplication chart to help us. Every time you're doing math, what have I always said to do? Make you a multiplication chart. I've already made mine. But anytime you're doing math, make you one. So it will help you, because this will not only help you with obviously multiplication, but it's going to help you with your division too. So let's look at this. We're looking at 121 divided by 11. So I could take my multiplication chart, go down to my 11s, take my finger, slide it across to 121, and then slide it up. What do we have? Well, it's under the 11 column. So 121 divided by 11 equals 11. Let's try another one. How about we do 54 divided by 6 equals, well, let's figure it out. We don't know. So let's go to our multiplication chart. We know we got the 6, so let's go down to row 6. Here's my 6. Slide my finger all the way over to 54, then slide it up. What is it under? It's under the 9 column, so 54 divided by 6 equals 9. So remember, make your multiplication chart. It's going to help you with your multiplication facts, but it's also going to help you with your division. So you can always use your multiplication chart to help you. All right, so today, just as a quick review, we said what does it mean to divide? And to divide means to separate into equal groups, to find the number of groups, and then or the number of each group. And I went over 5 different strategies for you today. Repeated subtraction, grouping, skip counting, inverse or missing factor, and using how to use your multiplication chart to help you. If you have any questions, please get to us all. We all have Class Dojo or Remind or live grades. Feel free to ask us any questions. We'll get right back to you, and hope to see you soon.